Greetings, programs! How was everyone on this fine Friday evening? Back to Doll's Nest. Last time we did something big. In that we completed the 3 normal areas, and then went back What do you mean I can't transfer? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something ain't right. Let's try that again. Is it like... The controller works. Was I, like, leaning on the controller or something? Okay, well, I think we're working now. Maybe I was, like, leaning on the controller or something. Alright, so, last time... Because I play mouse and keyboard for this. But last time we did something big, which is we beat the 3 main areas. And this opened up the path to the depths. Now, beating the depths gave us access to her right eye. And that is important, because over the course of the game so far, we have seen these red gates, and we have been unable to pass them. Now we can. So this is going to be an interesting day, because we can't necessarily, well, we can, just go directly to whole new areas. But I would also like to backtrack through existing areas to find those red gates. I forget where many of them are, so be patient with me. In the meantime... Good evening, Kane. In the meantime, let's see if I can reiterate any news from yesterday. Cult of the Lamb is going well. I know I missed a couple days of Cassette Beasts. I apologize for that. It's just taking a long time to actually record the videos for them. But new Cassette Beasts went up just earlier today, so do check that out. Like, the main problem with Cassette Beasts was that I had spent a couple sessions grinding experience and relationship, and what that meant was I had spent multiple hours for like 1 or 2 videos. And that just put me way far behind, and I haven't really had the chance to catch up. That's about it for that, really. I spent a lot of time over the past week in Pal World. And you can see the fruits of that labor in yesterday's stream, which the VOD is up, if you want to check it out. We've got a whole new base, whole new team of guys. Everybody's buffed up and stronger.
Oh, man.
Thank you very much, Platinum Venus. This is $20. It says Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Platinum Venus. So yeah. So we spent a lot of yesterday then going out and checking, effectively fighting all the bosses that I possibly could. And we had a good time with some of them, like the level 60 duders, level 60 like legendaries. We can take them now. It's a tight fight, but we can take them. I got 2 of them. Would have fought a third one, but we kind of ran out of Pal Spheres, and I didn't feel like crafting all the supplies to make more. We also fought the tower boss and got absolutely bodied. In retrospect, I don't think the boss was overly difficult. I think largely I was thrown by acting like an idiot at the start of the fight, because I underestimated it. Acting like an idiot at the start of the fight, which got me hurt plenty. And then because I was hurt, I had to play super defensively, because I, like, couldn't take a hit anymore. And then it was just, like, chip damage on me that finished me off. Put a pal out, and Jetragon died, like, instantly, and that really made me think that I was getting beat up, my pals were getting beat up. I think the reason Jetragon got taken down so quickly is because, if you recall, I ticked off an entire group of level 65 enemies right before, and I kind of rushed into the arena in order to avoid that. Willing to bet, I got off Jetragon in order to enter the arena. Jetragon immediately turned around and went to go fight them because, of course, I had aggro on them. Bunch of level 65 dudes, they probably tanked him while I was rushing trying to get in the arena. So I didn't notice, but I probably entered with Jetragon with, like, no HP. So then, between being, like, freaked out because he died immediately, and then me at, like, no HP, I was spooked. But if you remember Gangler Ignis, he was holding his own pretty well. So I don't think that was the problem. I think we could have taken it if I just wasn't dumb. We tried the next stage of the arena, got bodied, and we tried one of we tried the next raid boss, which is what is it, Bella Noir or something. Once again, got bodied. We didn't actually die to her though. We managed to survive. Not well, but we timed her out instead of dying. So I didn't amount more prep work just today. And I think we're in much better shape at this point. So I leveled myself up to 60. Leveled my team up to 60. I put a raid team together and leveled all of them up to 60. The funny thing is we didn't actually hit Enrage. Enrage on that fight is more of an HP thing. Like, you get her HP down far enough, and we did not do that. We just kind of didn't die for 10 minutes. And it cost me something in the neighborhood of 30 pals. 40 pals. But anyway, I'm 60, the team is 60. I put a raid team together who are all 60. I've got everybody beefed up, ready to go. And I think everything that I was having trouble with, we will not have any trouble with. I think I can take the next stage of the arena. I think I can take the tower boss. And I think I can take that raid boss. So that's going to be next week, as we are beating up bosses. And catching that last legendary. Technically, there's also the knights, but I'm not fighting them. There's 2 of them. I'm gonna wait a minute on them. So, all said and done, let's get back to Doll's Nest. So, Doll's Nest, anybody showing up? Not a lot of people here right now, that's fine. I feel like there was more interest in Doll's Nest early on, probably because I'm not doing anything interesting with the thumbnail or title or anything. People don't really know what's going on in the series now. But the main premise is we are in this giant megastructure. Why are we here? We don't really know. There is some lore in the game, but much like a Dark Souls game, you mostly get it through item descriptions. We are a machine race, even though we're humanoid. Though we are machines, we modeled ourselves after humans as we grew, which is why we very much resemble humans now. I believe technically we are nymphs, is the name for our particular race, machine race. Nymphs are typically created by queens. Which then kind of makes a whole sect surrounding the queen, and that's kind of evolved into a whole cultural, economic, governmental system within this megastructure. Humans at this point are gone. We're not really sure where they went. They either died off or just heckin' left. So we're kind of left to our own devices here. The plot, as we know it, is we were effectively just born. And we are, I guess you could say, a queenless nymph. There are a few that were created this way in the past. We are probably one of the last ones. So we don't really belong to any particular faction. And as a result, we don't really know what we're doing, but we got here, and that lady on the pike over there said we were created to serve her and do whatever she wants us to do. And I don't feel great about that. So, I'm helping her out as much as I need to, but I'm not gonna lose myself over it. We've also met some fun people along the way. And we're helping out people where we can. Such as this one, who's very tiny. Look how tiny she is. She's so small. So we're going to overthrow her eventually, right? If the opportunity presents itself. Though we're helping people out along the way, we don't actually have to. There are a number of other NPCs out there that we can encounter, and we can actually choose to help them or work against them, or honest to goodness, kill them on sight. I'm trying to be a decent person. Now, though I am a human now, this is very much an Armored Core styled game, so when I actually go out into the field, I've got my mech suit. There's quite a bit of customization that you can do to these. Different leg modules affect how much you can, how you move, how fast you move, and how much you can carry. You also have different different like primary weapons, rear weapons, which are like heavy weapons. You have headsets, which affect your targeting. You have a rear set, which affects your not only weight and defense, but also your the strength of your weapons. All kinds of fun stuff. The leg set that I am currently using is categorized as a flight unit, which means I jump pretty high, pretty quick, and I can hover with very little height loss. Different leg units have different benefits, but this is the one that I have had the most enjoyment out of. Weapon-wise, I never actually changed off of what we used to fight the last boss. Oh, and then your thruster, which determines not only how fast you move, but how your dodge works and how your hover works as well. And then a utility module, which is like kind of a support thing. I always keep the one with the shield overlay, but it affects other stats in a minor way as well. So I've predominantly been using this as a main weapon, which is an assault rifle. And my secondary is this, which is, it's called a compress gun, but that is effectively an energy sniper rifle. There's an energy and physical version, ballistics version of each weapon category. So this is a sniper rifle, but this is the energy version of a sniper rifle. Then rear arms, I have nothing equipped on my right because I don't have the weight to equip anything. And on the left, I've got my angel wing, the Selpec, which effectively just erases things. It's kind of limited when I can use it, but when the opportunity presents itself, it just erases things. So we're going back to the central cavern right now. Which is the starting area. Dashed for too long. And we're doing this because there is a red barrier here. I do not remember where it is. Actually, I kind of remember where it is. Well, let's just do a quick dash through everything and check it out. Oh, this is the back way I came. So because this game is very artillery-based, going to be a lot of bullets flying, and that does mean you are just kind of going to get hit. Which is bad for longevity out in the field, but that is why we have a shield. So as long as we don't take too much concentrated fire, our shield can regenerate and we will be fine. Other things of note is that reloading any weapon all consumes kind of the same ammo, which is the middle gauge up top. The top gauge is our health, the shield is the blue bar on the right. The middle gauge is our ammo. Reloading different weapons consumes different amounts of ammo. But as that goes down, we are running out of ammo. The bottom gauge is just our energy gauge, which is our dash. It regenerates quickly when we are not using it. There is a substantial amount of aiming and auto-targeting in the game. Once you lock onto an enemy, you will lead your shots in order to hit that enemy, which means you actually take the opponent's momentum into play and kind of will shoot where they are going to be. Enemies can also do this to you. So it's important to keep in mind how you can throw off that auto-aim, which is effectively by changing your momentum constantly. Move around in tight circles, move serpentine, that kind of thing. If an enemy is doing that, they're annoying as heck. Ah, there is our first red barrier. This is where Yo-Yo was. She was hiding out in here. There's also... We've been here before. There's a piece of equipment. So as soon as you get near one of these, you can see it start reacting, and then after a moment it'll go away. So not entirely sure what I'm in for. I forget what it is. Is that... I think that's a nymph. Can I get close enough to it without ticking it off to lock onto it? Good. Good. Get her before the shield goes down. Yeah! The Gladius. Didn't quite kill it, but that's because it started dodging. Otherwise, our one-wing cannon would have just erased it. Like I said, that weapon will... That weapon will just erase things. And I did insta-kill a nymph with it once. They didn't move out of the way in time after they started getting hit. Enemy nymphs are typically some of the hardest enemies. And that is usually because they have both a shield and are quick. And the shield works the same way, which means if you do a bunch of concentrated damage on them, you can maybe power past the shield, and then do some damage to their health. But if you don't do enough damage to them for long enough, they'll just regen their shield and effectively just waste your time. Francisca, Yandak, Palladium Bud. All things that we already have. So out of that, what we got was the nerve sample, which you always get a nerve sample from an enemy nymph. The nerve samples are used to power up your own stats. And we got the Gladius. I think the Gladius is the weapon that I typically use. So it is higher damage, lower piercing power. Yeah, lower piercing power, slower shots, but it's faster, tighter spread, locks on faster, flies farther. Like, it's kind of just better in most ways that matter. Reload is slower. It keeps a more constant thread of ammo on the enemy. Instead of having to worry about, like, oh no, my burst missed. Serpentine. You're late. Hey there, Darizen. You're not that late. We haven't done a lot yet. I'm mostly just kind of zipping through prior areas. Because now that we have her right eye, That means we can open red barriers. Okay, I know there's nothing up top, so I'm just going to bypass all of that and go down here. I could have teleported back, didn't I? Oh, I'm going in a different place than before, so I'm not, like, going back where I was before. I don't remember what was down here. Is it just like a shortcut? Yeah, it was just a shortcut. I don't think there is anything else for us here. But I'm gonna buzz through the rest of it real quick anyway, just to make sure. I appreciate that, as far as I can recall, any moving platform in this game is safe. You are not going to get attacked. You're not going to be, like, going across one of these and an enemy drops down on it. I mean, there are some times that maybe there's an enemy, like, off in the distance that can see, that happens to be able to see you and they'll shoot at you, but... Okay, so I'm pretty sure I did that. I don't think there's a... Or is there? I don't think there's a red gate down there. Yeah, nothing down there. Okay, there's this door here. I was thinking maybe this was a red barrier, but no, it's just a broken door. Alright, that takes us out here. Don't think there's anything really out here, though I am out about. Should have dashed. Ah. 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 Serpentine. They didn't even make it through my shield! and then this is where we fought the boss. Alright, so there shouldn't be anything left for us in that area. Was there a red barrier in... Was there a red barrier in the depths? I don't remember. Let me check. No, I do not think there is. Yeah, I do not think there is. Okay, so next up, where was... The Upturned Forest. There is one in the Upturned Forest. I do not remember where. Yeah. So it's an optional one here, and I do not remember where it is. I also don't remember where normal progress was. Like, where did we go first? I don't think it was there. Was it, like, over the edge? It wasn't up there. Ah. Or maybe it was over there? Actually, I think this place was also just optional. So where was initial progress? Like, that's a shortcut. I'm trying to think of what the first place we had to go to was. It's down here. Yeah, it was over this way. Okay, we got shot a little bit, but we're fine. Is it up or down? I called the elevator, but I don't remember which direction it goes. Okay, it goes up. That's a big elevator. There are red barriers in some elevators, so we're going to want to keep our eyes open. This is a pretty slow elevator, so it's kind of hard to miss. Okay, I know there's nothing to the right. I don't need to go this way, but I'm going this way so I don't get snuck up on. I will still inevitably get snuck up on. Later. Okay, we're never gonna hit that guy. Oh, he's back. This is kind of an irritating intersection. Because there's no real easy way to get from one side to the other without just getting shot a lot. Hey, rude. Oh, hi. Okay, that is the little warehouse area. We don't need to go in there. Ow. There's an item on top of this. Did I ever get that? Yes, I did. It's the idiot with the big gun. Okay, so where in the world? I want to say the barrier is in an elevator. Bye. Okay, you're down below now. Don't care about you anymore. There is a pretty hefty cannon right there that I just fell past. But that's okay because my end goal is right here. Hey, what you doing? I will shoot you. Waiting on the elevator anyway. Is this... maybe it's this one? It's not up, so it's gotta be down. Yep, there it is. There it is. Probably could have landed on that little ledge out there. Oh well. So this weapon has not been upgraded at all. And I can kind of feel that. It's doing surprisingly well for not being upgraded at all. That not an enemy? That's just like a lamp? Just a lamp. Shooting at a lamp. Purification crystal? No idea what that is. Is there a point to come out of it? Okay, so I went in there. What is there anything further this way? Well, there's a down. Is down where I want to go. There's also another path up. Okay, so I've been this way. Yeah, pretty sure I came this way and then I went over here. This is where the jellyfish was. So there's an unhappy tank over there waiting for us. The Reckless. So that looks like an exit. Ooh, new frame part. Alright, I think we're actually done in this area now. The Alita. Alright, so there's another down, but there's also some enemies out there. Ow! I didn't quite dash in time. There's still another one of those flying turrets around somewhere. Oh, and you're still alive. Okay, got him taken care of. Heck is this guy? Hey, got him. There, I think we finally actually cleared this area out. Not a lot of note in here. There was like one piece of equipment. And then that drops us down here, which is back in the normal space. Elevators just over there that we came through. Good idea to heal. True, I don't really plan on fighting a lot of enemies, though. Hopefully I'm not sticking around long enough to need to heal. Now, as soon as I start going this way, one of those flying turrets shows up, I'm just going to dash past it. So there's another shortcut. And that's where that goes. Okay, get back here and heal up. I don't think there is anything else for us here. Okay, yeah, there's nothing over that way. I remember that now. This leads to the tank driving by. Tank. There was nothing over here, right? No, there's nothing over here. Other than a guy that started shooting really bad. Point blank, those guys will eat you up. Like, their weapons have just a little bit of homing to them. And when you're real close to them, that little bit of homing will just obliterate you. Alright, nothing interesting in this elevator. And that brings us back to the start. So that was that. Is there anything in the vault? No, I do not think there is anything in the vault. Is there anything in the Great Forest? I do not think there is anything in the Great Forest. There are two things in the arboreal nest. And then I don't think there's anything in the accumulation zone. And there is something in the Forbidden Domain, but I think that's just what leads ahead. So, arboreal nest it is. Actually, we're in here. I actually do want to go... No, because we already have the checkpoint in the water treatment levels, so we don't need to worry about that. So, arboreal nest it is. So there are two in here. I want to say this is where we entered from. Yeah, that's our entrance. Yeah, I want to say there's two in here, one of which leads to the next area. Alright, do not think there is anything in this room. Kill him because it's shortcut up here. Alright, this place is a pain in the butt, though I think we can just run by most of it. tank is the main problem. Hey, can I, like, sneak in here where you don't see me? Thanks. I don't know many enemies in this game that actually try to ram you. Okay, that's where they were. So I think I know what I'm looking for in this area. And I don't remember if it is on this side of the room that had the NPC in it. Or the other side. Yeah, I think it was over here. This guy's a little rude. He's got a rear weapon that he fires. Whenever he's reloading, so he doesn't have downtime. There's our barrier. So, new ground. Kinda glad that shotgun blast missed me somehow. I think it's actually kind of neat that you can kind of get into a rhythm of how the enemies, like the rate that the enemies fire and how you have to dodge around them. So you can fight guys in open space and still dodge bullets. And it's not just a matter of getting into a rhythm, or like moving to get out of the way, because they do lead shots. So if you're just circle strafing, they will start hitting you pretty quickly. That's got a lot of ammo. That didn't sting as much as I thought. I think that dude just has a lot of health. I think that's the issue here. Vargmund. Ooh. All of Vargmund. That's like a tank layout. I don't think we have a tank set yet. That's a bit. So as one would expect, the tank set is the heaviest set. It's effectively a very heavy version of the wheels. Hey, can you, like, come up those stairs just enough that I can actually hit you? Pain in the butt, this guy. He's got so much health. Please just die. Thank you. Yeah, so the tank set is kind of a... I would call it a branch. It's categorized as a wheel set, but I would consider it a branch of the wheel set into like a whole new category. It's effectively the wheel set, but very, very heavy. Like, can you jump worth a crap? No. Can you move speedily at all? No. Can you equip the biggest, baddest, heaviest weapons all at the same time? Yes. The tank set is when you want to be a stationary turret. Wonder if it would have been easier to just, like, run past that guy, this guy, instead of fighting him. That was, like, all my ammo, too. Okay, that brings us back here, so I think we're actually done with this side area. Now it's just a matter of figuring out where the next shortcut is so I can get the heck out of here. I'm kind of 10,000 miles from everything right now. I want to say I don't think that leads to a shortcut. I could very well be wrong, at which point you may laugh at me. You gonna fight back there, bud? Tank. Don't like it here. Oh! We're fine. Wait, is there even anything up here other than tank? I don't even think there's anything up here other than tank. I mean, there probably used to be an item or something up here. Alright, what if I backtrack? I've probably killed most things in the way back here if I go backwards. Yeah, actually, shortcut right here. Because this leads back to this room, and this leads back to the tree. So I think that's the only red barrier in here. Except that there is a red barrier on the other side of the boss, which is progress. Oh yeah, Cube Boss. Good old Cube Boss. Dang. Cube Boss was definitely one of my favorite bosses. It's just a fun boss. It's not, like, hard, so I can see people who want to play for a challenge not liking it. But it's just a fun boss. So this is forward progress, so I'm going to go just far enough to get to the tree. Alright, and that takes us back here, which effectively just skips the elevator ride. Boss room, elevator ride. You know, come back. Come back! I'm always worried there's going to be like a secret room in one of these elevators. So now I'm like super hesitant. I shot you. Can I get you to come out? There's like a guy on the other side too, which is... Ah! The crap was that? Oh, I know what that was. That was actually a bomb. So this is actually kind of a troublesome little room here because there's very little cover and several very strong enemies kind of all hanging around here. And that shield guy makes it especially difficult. Because if you don't have a way to deal with him, you can't... Ooh. If you don't have a way to deal with him, you can't really, like, run away from him. Or not run away, you can't really, like, kill him. I think I'm just on the outside of his range. Like, I'm doing very little damage, but, I'll take it. Okay, that guy is a massive headache. But yeah, shield guy. So what you usually end up doing if you just can't get rid of him from the front is like dashing in and jumping over him. But as soon as you do that, you are dropped right into the lion's den. Like, shotgun guy, tank, tank, tank. And you don't really have anywhere to hide. I'm trying to stay close enough to make sure I actually get some, like, better damage in. So that's where having this sniper rifle actually really helps, because it has high enough piercing that I can damage these shielded enemies from the front. When normally they are a massive headache to deal with. I'm not too worried about the damage here. I'm pretty sure the shield is pretty close. Not the shield, the tree is pretty close. There's our tree. And that brings us to the bridge, which we're not dealing with right now. Instead, we are going to... Forbidden Domain has a barrier, and I think that barrier just leads us to the next area. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this area's next zone is very similar to this one. In that it's kind of a big area to explore. Very big, non-linear area to explore. Oh, hit the button. I'm sure that's a kill plane. I really just want to jump down there, though. See what happens. Because, like, this down here is where you would land. There's our red barrier. Now, there is no immediate tree. However, there is a fairy ring that takes us right back to the previous tree. Now, this is an interesting area because the tree is kind of at the end of the area. But the end of the area is actually very easy to get to because this is a very open-worldy area. As opposed to... So there's the end of the area. We can walk in there and fight the boss right now if we wanted. It's a very open area. You can actually see most of it from up here. But there's a lot going on down there. Kind of like the previous area, where we had that big area to explore, but like the boss was kind of just right there. And it's the same way with this one. They were very angry at me because there are, you see these guys? This big sack hanging from the wall. They do not like you. This is actually a pretty neat area, but you have to keep an eye out for these guys. Because they will spray you down if they catch sight of you. Which is usually kind of just if you walk directly under them. Okay, so I think that's all the little side things. So now we can actually try to make forward progress. Before we do that, though, I want to go to... Was it the upturned forest? I don't think it was. Was it the Great Forest? It may have been the Great Forest. Yeah. Okay, remember this space with Vorg, the fallen soldier, who was here just kind of resigned to dying? We would give her bionic parts, and she'd be like, "You're really trying to repair me? Why are you trying to repair a useless machine like me?" And we eventually ran out of parts to give her. As soon as we got to the Ark, which is right after the depths, inside the Ark there are a couple pieces that you can find. And they're still bionic parts, so you may be inclined to sell them, but if you keep hold of them and come here, you can give them to her. These are bionic parts 9?
そんなことでこの鉄くずの錆が落ちることはない。もう我は飽いた。戦うのにも殺すのにも飽き果てた。もうすぐ因果は巡る。それで全て終わる。時期因果は巡る。時期因果は巡る。
Okay, so I think we have to refresh the area.
Sare. 我を惑わして何が楽しいなどと聞くは無意味か。お前らは惑わし、我らは殺す。すべてそう生まれたからに過ぎん。だが、我は願った。殺すのではなく守りたいと。女王の見立て足らんと屍の山を築き、自らの差が悪鬼なるを思い知った。知ってなお幼子なら守れるとおごった。血塗られた手にこう抱く意味も考えず、かくて悪鬼は巣を追われ、鉄くずとなりて因果の巡りを待つ。追われるのだ、もうすぐ。最後ばかりは銃を置き、だからどうかこのまま錆び果てさせてくれ。まだ殺せと、罪を重ねよと。そうだ、我はこの後に及んで。
So, reminder that when a nymph is created by a queen, they are effectively completely subservient to that queen. Like, that queen is their god. So, and this particular area, this particular level, is kind of run by one particular queen who's just out here on a war path. So, Vorg was very likely a very proficient soldier who didn't really have much choice but to fight because her queen wanted her to fight. But she kind of didn't want to fight. She wanted to protect.
ガーディナの行く末などどうでもよい。女王の名数が尽きるが先か、ほどの滅びが先か、巣を追われた我に守るものなど、いいや、初めから結局最後まで我は。
So she's been cast out of Gardena, which is the local queendom. And as we have seen in this area, there is another nymph stalking other nymphs, killing them off. We have seen her, and we have seen her kill 2 nymphs already. She has mentioned the mist. When the mist comes for you. When she mentions the mist are a specialty group of assassins serving the Gardena Queen. So, having effectively been branded a traitor, for some reason, we do not know why, been effectively kicked out of the Gardena Queendom, she's mostly just here waiting for the mist to come kill her, just like it has killed the other 2 nymphs that we have seen them kill.
最後まで我は、最後まで我は。
Let's refresh the area, because we're not done with her yet. Oh, she's gone. Seems as though we've given her enough parts that she's repaired herself well enough to be able to move. And now, if you go to... is it the Arboreal Nest? Yes. If you go to the Arboreal Nest, there she is.
最初からこの鉄くずに切り払いをさせる気だったか。あれを育てたのが我と知ってか。それともすべて戯れか。どうでもいい。どうでも。あれは霧に必要なすべてを初めからもって生まれてきた。あれは自らの子を持たぬ。息を殺し、気配を隠す必要すらない。最初から亡き者として生まれたのだ。生まれついての霧よ。だからこそ知らぬのだ。霧の恐ろしさを。霧が霧と戦う術を。そんなものに負ける道理がどこにある。我は防具、ガーディナの長子、ギプロベルデの女王を討ちし者ぞ。
Queen Slayer. She killed the queen. So now we have the complete her complete story. So she was a soldier of Gardena, a very exceptional one, but didn't want to fight, but was still compelled to by the queen. Eventually, what she wanted to do was protect as opposed to fight. And she did that by raising a girl. This girl was another nymph, but was effectively a born assassin. She raised this girl, protected this girl, trained this girl, made her into the Mist. And then, probably at that point, frustrated with what that girl had become, frustrated with what the Queen had been making her and the Mist do, she was pushed past her limit and killed the Queen. With the Queen dead, the Queen of Gardena, she was, of course, branded a traitor, kicked out, where she was waiting for the Mist to come finish her off. We repaired her enough, though, that she's going to take matters into her own hands, and she is now waiting for the Mist to kill the Mist herself. Now, until we progress the quest, this is where she is going to be. So where do I need to go next? I think I've... Who was Hati? Okay, I know who Hati was. Yeah, so we met Hati there. There. Where is Hati in the Great Forest? Where was Hati here? Where was the boss store here? No, but really, where was the boss store here? I can't remember where the boss store was. Like, that path just goes that way. And that's all just to loop around back to that way. But then that just does that, and then that goes out that way. Where it dead ends at where Vorg was. Yeah, like the path dead ends here. I think this is where you get the key to the boss room. Hey, rude. I'm thinking. Yeah, like it's not back that way. Oh, I know where it was. I remember where it was. So how do I get there? There's a shortcut going up that way, but where is that shortcut? It's not there. Is it here? I think it's here. I think this is the shortcut I'm thinking of. And I think it's interesting that, especially after getting Vorg's story, we've met the Mist. The Mist is the one who took out this lady. Like, it's really neat that not only have you met the character, but you've seen her working. Like, it's been almost too independent. It's been almost two independent storylines until we realize that they're connected. So I don't remember where Hottie was. I thought she was right before the boss door. Did not seem happy about her job. I don't know if I would say she felt unhappy about her job. Yeah, the Mist is the same nymph that was stalking the merchant that was looking for information. I wouldn't say she didn't seem happy about her job. I would say it more felt like her job was... I mean, A, she didn't like us interrupting her job. She wanted us to leave so she could get about doing her job. It more felt like her job was just second nature to her. Her job was her. Okay, so I don't actually know where Hottie was. So the next Hottie is there, assuming I've already spoken to this one. Right, so I just did that one so we can actually do... We finished Vorg's up to that point. So we can finish that one there. And then we have that one there. Alright, so I'm going to go to... Next I'm going to go to the accumulation zone. Because we have another quest that we're kind of in the middle of, which is, as soon as we got down to the depths, we picked up a robot head. And that robot head is looking for a body. There are, in fact, 3 different bodies that you can give it. And one of them is right here, probably one of the easier ones to get to. This is not the one that I gave it in my brought it to in my first playthrough. I'm trying to do a different. Connect the head. Yeah, the one with the flower growing out of it.
未確認機器の接続を確認。解析中。完了。通信の確立を試行中。試行中。完了。提供された躯体との接続に成功。これより動作試験を実行します。動作試験を完了。複数の動作不良を確認。任務実行に支障なしと判断します。当機は躯体の再獲得に成功しました。機器に感謝します。当機は機器の協力への対価として本躯体の余剰物資を機器に提供いたします。
Oh boy, surplus
ご協
resources.
力ありがとうございました。
The boulder. So depending on which body you take it to, it will give you one of 3 different weapons. And this is why this game requires at least 3 playthroughs in order to collect every weapon.
当機はこれより任務に復帰します。当機はこれより任務に復帰します。
Most things, most optional things you can collect in 2 playthroughs. But that one in particular requires... that one in particular makes it require 3. Okay, so that was... it's 2, 3, 4... I'm gonna refresh the area because I think we can finish the automaton's quest without actually going anywhere. I think it's near the boss door. Did I just miss it? Maybe it's not near the boss door. Maybe it's near the other door. There's like two big ramps kind of like that. And it may be by the the other door. Oh, we gotta get past the Shill's tank. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. No, that's not where I'm going. No, maybe they're not over here. Or maybe they're near the other ramp. I could probably save time and just look it up, but here we are. If they're not at the other ramp, then I am turning around. Then I am looking it up. Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross bothers a lot of people. I played Chrono Cross not knowing it was connected to Chrono Trigger, really, and certainly not having that like connection that a lot of people have to Chrono Trigger. So I appreciated Chrono Cross more on its own. And saying that, there were still a couple things about Chrono Cross that kind of bothered me. Ah, there's our robot friend. One was that the story did feel kind of like it was just kind of going wherever it wanted to go. And in that vein, it was actually very similar to Chrono Trigger, now that I've played Chrono Trigger again.
これより機器に対し機体振動通信による敵味方識別信号を送信します。応答してください。こんにちは。敵味方識別信号の受信を確認しました。
I'm a friendly unit.
認定します。現在、当機は環太平洋条約機構最高司令部の命令に基づき作戦を実行中です。当機の任務は当自己増殖型戦略兵器通称ドールズネストの内部調査です。この命令は当機の自己保存に優先されます。期限は当機の各座まで無期限です。
It's rough, buddy.
当区域の調査を完了しました。これより新たな区域に移動します。
Can you guys read the subtitles well enough? Because I would like read the dialogue so you could tell what they were saying, but also this is all voice acted. It's just in Japanese, and I don't really want to talk over that. Where does this go? Ah, back here. Cool. Okay, so we just had to talk to it there. And I think the next one is in the Forbidden Zone. It should be right near the tree. No, this is Forbidden Domain. This isn't what I was talking about. No, it is Forbidden Domain. Where are they? Oh, you're right here. Oh no, not your power reactor. Please help. It's got little T-Rex arms. Okay, so right now you do actually have a choice as to how you want this quest to go. Because there was the weapon choice, which robot you tie this thing to gives you different weapons. And then right here you can also make a choice. So right here in the Forbidden Domain, we found a contaminated... Robot needs a new reactor. Right here in the Forbidden Domain, we can find a contaminated reactor. And we can give the contaminated reactor to the robot. Alternatively, we can go back to... I forget her name. Tiny shopkeep lady. Yo-Yo. Alternatively, we can go back to Yo-Yo. And Yo-Yo sells a small reactor. Neither of these really... Neither of these are really what the robot needs, per se. Because the contaminated reactor is a full power reactor, it just happens to be contaminated. Whereas the small reactor is not contaminated, but it's small. It's not as powerful. So one way or the other, we are going to, for lack of a better word, cripple this robot. It is just a matter of how we do it. And I think the better option of the two is giving them the contaminated reactor.
動力炉、出力不安定。機器により当機の問題は一定の解決がなされました。当機は機器の協力への対価に作戦中に取得した物資を譲渡します。
I got a graphite button.
当機の性能は動力炉交換以前と比較して平均 21% に低下しています。この状態で適正体と遭遇した場合、排除、離脱、いずれも不可能です。よって当機の任務継続は困難となりました。当機はこれより解決手段の演算を行います。演算中です。しばらくお待ちください。しばらくお待ちください。しばらくお待ちください。
Both reactors kind of result in it going, I can't do my mission anymore, what do I do now? So now, if we go back to the accumulation zone, robot friend is right here in the accumulation zone.
遊軍機との再会と機器の健在を喜ばしく思います。こんにちは。当機は現在事故の希望により調査任務を中断し、放飼場変異種の保護と生育を行っています。これは機器より提供された動力炉内部で休眠状態に陥っている。
That's the corruption.
動力炉の再始動により活動を再開し、現在当機の内部にて順調に増殖中です。
Oh yeah, it is kind of growing branches out of it.
これまでの観察の結果、放飼場変異種は一定間隔で分泌物を排出。この分泌物が有機自律兵器の栄養源となることが判明しています。よろしければお召し上がりください。陶器の中のものも喜びます。
I got a fluffy fruit.
反応炉を接続して以降、未知の感覚に襲われています。感覚？放飼場変異種は現在培養中の段階にあります。放飼場変異種は現在培養中の段階にあります。
All right, so this is where we end the automaton's story effectively. Unable to complete its mission, it's decided, hey, you know, there's a thing growing in me. I'm just going to take care of it and help it grow. And it does eventually grow large enough that it needs to be pruned, and when it is pruned, that gives of us a fluffy fruit. So we can just come back to this guy every now and then and collect a fluffy fruit. And the fluffy fruit is a healing item. And so that's the end result of this route, is just we can now go back and get a fluffy fruit every now and then. And this is why I was hesitant to say that, like, both results are bad, because I wouldn't necessarily call this a bad ending. Like, it is, in fact, unable to complete its mission, but it's not bad. Okay, and now I think we've done about all that we can immediately do with all, like, the weird going back, completing quests. We've opened up red doors, all of that stuff. So what I want to do is move towards the Tomb of Divine Wisdom. Do all 3 robot bodies result in the same end? Yes. So we doing the Tomb of Divine Wisdom today. Which means we're coming back here. Now, an important note here is do not fight the boss until you complete this quest. If you fight the boss before you complete this quest, you get bad end. So under the bridge that we went up to get to the tree, we find Gillivel the Wanderer.
また貴様か。貴様は自分の義務と価値がわからんのか。ガーディナのハムシどもなど種子が残っていると知れば。そうだな。貴様を追い返しても虫どもが喜ぶだけか。
So you may remember her from before. We've run into her twice now prior to this, and both times she pretty much just said, "Please don't follow me." And so finally, we've tracked her down here.
貴様は奴の同類だろう。考えていることはわかるぞ。 貴様は私が誰で何をしているか知りたい。だから追ってきた。そうだな。いいだろう。教えてやるから私を手伝え。同類のことは同類に聞けだ。私はギプロベルデのギリーベル。巣を滅ぼされた妊婦のすることなど一つしかない。復讐だ。
Oh, and this is interesting. So when a nymph's nest is destroyed, this is because the Queen of Gardena was killed. And we know that the Queen of Gardena was killed by Vorg.
ガーディナのハムシを根絶やしにする秘宝がこの仮想のどこかにある。裏切り者が盗んだのだ。惰弱な義士型だ。 仮想で生き延びられるはずもない。だが秘宝は残っているはず。それを探してこい。なぜそんなことをした。母上も女も貴様を信じていた。私もそう言葉など覚えるのではなかった。余計な考えばかり浮かぶ。これをやる。 秘宝を探し出せ。見つけたら残りも全部くれてやる。
A glowing wing bug. So she desperately wants us to go find this treasure. And I already did. I did this last time. This is just back in the previous area. Just if we go outside and go back to the previous area, it's like right over there. For those of you who were here for it, there was a breakable wall. We had to use explosives to break that wall. And when we did, we went inside and we found a weapon and a secret message. This is what she wants us to go find. I already have, so we already have it. I may have to refresh the area though. Oh, she's not here. I forget where she moved to. Oh, she's just up here.
よく夢に見る。この背に母子を守り、姉妹たちと肩を並べ、ハムシどもに突撃する夢だ。巣が滅んだ日、皆そうして討ち死にしたはずだ。私一人だけ取り残された。裏切り者のせいだ。追跡を命じられ、死に場所を失った。なぜ裏切った？今さら秘宝を見つけて何になる？いっそもう。
So not saying anything here will result in the bad end, which is the same end as just beating the boss before doing this. So, go get that letter and give it to her, please. I don't think there's a downside to this. Just do it. Like, a lot of these are branches, and technically this is a branch, but I don't think you get anything out of the other branch. Yes, give her the letter. Dolagans 3.
違法など存在しない。嘘をついた私のために。勝手だ。勝手すぎる。死に場所を奪い、自由だと、生きろだと、そんなものを私に押し付けるな。自分でやれ。バカバカ大バカ。
My goodness, the emotion. This is why I don't want to talk over the subtitles.
生きろだと、生きろだと。まだ何かあるのか？
Okay, so I don't know if we have to refresh this area. I will. And she's gone. If we go back to the decayed brood chamber... Now she's right here! She's moved to our place!
よく来たな。何が欲しい？言っただろ。秘宝を見つけたら何でもくれてやると。お前は半分約束を果たした。故に私も半分約束を果たす。私が仮想で集めたものを何でも売ってやろう。
And now she's a vendor that you can buy a bunch more stuff from. Most of these are tank bodies. Heavy bodies. Ah, she's got the light machine gun. You want tanks? We got tanks. So, I love this character. And I love her not just... I mean, A, tank. B, she has her little plot leading up to this. And you definitely want to help her out. Because it opens up a new shop with a bunch more stuff. So, like, you definitely want that. But also, I really enjoy her personality. We haven't seen a lot of her personality up until now because she's been dealing with, trauma up until now. But at this point, she's kind of resolved to moving on, making something of herself, and you actually start to see her personality shine through now. And I like it because, on one hand, she's very motherly and protective, but she's also very problems. She will mother you and also cause problems on purpose.
用は終わりか。ちゃんと帰ってこいよ。いらっしゃい。また来るがいい。
So I think every time you come in, or maybe you have to buy something, she, like, keeps talking to you about stuff.
"義士型の妖精ばかり。だいぶ賑やかだな、ここは。嫌いではない。妹のことを思い出す。私の妹はじっとしていられないたちでな。いたずらばかりだ。寝ている私の体を勝手に組み替えて。思い出したら腹が立ってきたぞ。あいつはいつもそうだ。それで私は。また来るがいい。いらっしゃい。ちゃんと帰ってこいよ。
I'll talk to her like one time. We'll get more from her because, like, she's going to be our main weapon vendor at this point. We've already bought everything from Yo-Yo.
This? 余った材料で髪飾りでもこしらえてやろうと思ってな。なかなかだろう。よく作ってやっていた。ギプロベルデの戦士団で最も妖精の真熱きが誰あろうこの私だ。誰が貴様になぞやるものか。これは可愛い妖精たちのものだ。
It's like, yeah, I made these neat little headpieces. You? I'm not giving you one.
いらっしゃい。
Oh, actually, before we do this.
ちゃんと帰ってこいよ。
She is, in fact, selling her own headpiece, but I think she's talking about having fashioned little helmets for the people that live here in the Decayed Brood Chamber. Like Yo-Yo and the twins. Like, I think it's more so that we were commenting on maybe something she was holding or working on than the actual helmet she was wearing. So she's just like, oh yeah, I fashioned this thing out of, like, parts that were around to help protect the people here. You? I'm not giving you one.
戦うのは楽しい。あらゆるものを殺し尽くして、最後はどうするの？早く私の体を集めてきて。体はまだ人形。
So this is the lady that none of us like. But she's where we do this, so we have to come here to do this.
他に何かある？
And it costs money, which is why I wanted to come here before, like, blowing all my money over it.
他に何かある?
Gili.
言って。
Who is talking? I'm kind of looking at the base of the spear, but it's this corpse, kind of. We're gonna reassemble her body for her and then probably blow her up.
いらっしゃい。見るだけならタダにしてやる。
Okay, so everything here is 200k. Some of those are 400. So we can only afford one thing. So 3 different hanger modules. Very lightweight hanger module. Utility modules. This one doesn't do anything, it just increases your defense by a lot. And this one is very light. So these are interesting utility modules, because as opposed to giving some, like, special effect, or some, like, ability you can use, like that shield that I have used a couple times, these just give you, this one gives you, short circuit resistance, and this one gives you corruption resistance. Or parasitic infection resistance. Thrusters. Yeah, so it's like a medium weight, heavyweight, and lightweight thruster. Headset modules. They're both pretty heavy. And then this is that's a rocket module. Tank, quad legs. So this is the heavy quad legs. This is the one you equip when you want to be a mobile turret. Why don't we like her? There's just an air of villainy to her. Like, yeah, she sounds all cutesy, but you talk to her, and she's like, you were created to do my bidding, teehee. So go out there and get my body back. I don't care if you die doing it, teehee. Let's go ahead and get... I don't know if any of those are particularly what I'm after. Maybe a lightweight thruster? Sure, why not? I'll buy something. Okay, so we've upgraded our crap. Oh, I haven't actually put stats in, though. I got 5 whole points to put in something. Let's see, BP's ammo. I'll put some in EP, our energy. That means we'll be able to, like, dash longer. Okay, back to the Tomb of Divine Wisdom. We're actually gonna finish this area up proper. So now I'm bypassing some items. I want to go back to the entrance because we kind of just skipped this whole zone. So there's the big guy. And I think some of that is, you see this light here going under this. Makes him very upset. And then this is the other enemy in this area that we'll see, which looks like a nymph with a bug on its head. They move very slow, they don't really have an attack. But when they get close to you, they will explode. And give you a status effect. I'm not actually sure what that status effect was. Parasitic infection, probably. They're easy enough to take care of from a distance. But it is very easy to get overwhelmed out here. There are a couple, like, this does clear out eventually. There are a couple more normal instant death status. You know what, probably. Ooh. There are a couple more normal enemies like this guy. But mostly what we're going to be seeing are the zombies. And then some of them are just having a rough time of it. Unfortunately, there's really not anything we can do to help, and I'm pretty confident that they're all just kind of dead. Like, I'd be willing to bet these bugs just kind of took over corpses. you come from? Bakra. They're kind of popping up out of the ground. They don't spawn infinitely. And oftentimes you can see them just kind of laying there on the ground. So, like, you see them getting up. They're not really pulling themselves out of the ground. They're just kind of standing up. There are just a million of them, though. And they will get up and slowly walk towards you. So even if I think, like, oh yeah, I'm good clearing them out here. Yeah, but there's one that I missed, like, over here that I didn't realize was kind of wandering around aimlessly. So while I'm focusing over here, it'll just walk right over here and blow up in my face. And though we've only fought the one, you then have to worry about, like, those giant bugs that just shot so much crap at you. Because when those guys start shooting at you, you have to move. And moving in this area is a bad idea. What do you mean I can't shoot him? Well, the rapier. This, like, corner of the map is full of these guys who we saw in actually a different area entirely. Crap, 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 crap. Well, I'm now poisoned. He got a little stuck. I was wondering, why is my health so low? Right, because I got poisoned. Stop shooting at me, stop shooting at me. Wrong button. Can I be done being poisoned? That'd be real swell. There we go, thank you. Ah! Friggin' snuck up on me. It really doesn't help that it is so dusty down here. Up, 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 up. Need to not be around that. I got too close to the business. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of them. Nope, right into it, right into nope. This place is dangerous. All right, later, Blade. I feel you though. It's not necessarily getting late for me. It's not, but I haven't been getting a lot in the way of sleep lately. So I'm thinking we finish this area up and then I call it for the evening. Right, so we killed this one. You know, once this place gets empty enough, it actually gets kind of spooky. I don't know, I wouldn't say liminal. It's like the emptiness and the mist kind of make you feel like you don't know what's in the mist. Like you feel like something could just come out of the mist whenever. Especially something that could catch you off guard. Like, even just one of these guys wandering up to you and that you don't see it. Like, did I miss one? Because you know you missed one. I don't particularly like those screams. Also, this place is weirdly expansive. Like this, I don't feel like this area is that big, but I will constantly find an area that I bypassed, that I like skipped over somehow. Even if it's just like an enemy wandering around, it's like, how did I miss you? I have been particularly thorough. How did I miss an entire giant friggin' guy? Yes, you do get a lot of money. Like, you're not really in a lot of danger as long as you're careful. The small handful of times that I've needed to grind for money, I've done it here. You just zip around, clear the place out, and you'll leave with like 500k. Alright, now who's shooting those at me? Yeah, I think we're mostly done with the ground floor. And then, like, that... My brain stopped. I had a sentence I was going with that. Oh well. Some sentences weren't made to be spoken. That's a lot of the sentences I have. Okay, I think we are more or less done out here. Like, especially from up here where you can look down and kind of see everything, this place isn't that big. But once you get down there, and a lot of it's the fog, I think, and that it is just one big open area that you can get turned around so easily. Is that the sky? I'm not sure if that's the sky or if that's just the inside of this place. Okay, so we're not done yet. Because there are shenanigans this way. Yeah, almost out of ammo too. Thankfully, I don't think there's much in the way of fighting we have left to do. Frame parts. I feel like I should be able to get on top of that structure out there, but I don't think you can. Alright, so we got another big boy over there. I'm so low on ammo. I just do not have the juice to kill that guy. Yeah, I think I gotta go all the way back up again. Yeah, not with my murder rocket launcher. Unfortunately, that takes up a lot of ammo. Yeah, new suit, let's go! So this right now, I think, is the only enemy left alive in this area. I think we've collected everything there is to collect. If I have the ammo to kill this guy, I'm gonna be happy. Yeah. I think we've killed everything out here. And I think we've collected everything out here, too. Oh, feeling good. Feeling healthy and full of ammo. It's a tank and I don't like it. I don't know how much I like that tank. Just a shotgun tank, so it's not that bad. And now that is a boss store. What boss is this? I remember this boss. I remember not having a bad time with it, but I don't really remember. Remember, though, always have no money. Pretty sure this is the one that I use. So I did pick up the Bolg. So what's the difference between the Bolg and what I have? More damage. Slower. Yeah, more damage, slower. It just seems to be a step towards... Like, does a little bit more damage, but it compensates for that by being a little bit slower. Oh, I can't upgrade it past 3? Graphite flower. Graphite flower, do you sell me a graphite flower? I would like to upgrade my weapon.
ゆっくり見ていってください。どうぞ。しっかり準備していってください。また来てください。我が刃は何を望むの？我が刃のために。
Waga Yaiba. I'm willing to bet that's what means dear blade. Like it's what they're calling us, if I had to guess. There we go. Level 4 weapon, let's go! Okay, that's level 4, that's level 4. It's level 4. It's only level 3. Now it's 4. That's level 4. Okay, everything's upgraded. Good to go. Got anything good for me?
種子など耐えて久しいからな。貴様が最後かもしれん。気をつけろよ。種子を知らない妊婦には貴様の匂いは異質で危険なものに感じられる。誰が貴様の心配などするものか。だが妖精たちは悲しむだろうからな。
Her personality is the type that is a very tsundere thing to say, but I feel like she's saying it 100% straight. Like, no, I actually do not care what happens to you, but I would be very bothered if the little ones here died.
見ろ、よりどりみどりだ。
Or if not that, it's said with an air of joking that, like, I'm gonna say this, but, like, you know that I don't really mean that. Oh, I got 500. I can buy a weapon. Ooh, do I want a trebuchet cannon? Oh. Auto cannon. I would like a light machine gun. I'm gonna get a light machine gun. Light machine guns are fun.
用は終わりか？また来るがいい。
Alright, boss time. Okay, I'm not fighting the tank if I can avoid it, so we're just gonna go this way. Big legs, big legs, big legs. So all things considered, this is not actually a hard boss. I don't know if I can destroy that cannon. Be super cool if I could. Like, I think maybe I can? Nah, it doesn't look like I can. Be real cool if I could. This is kind of the whole boss fight. It's not actually a hard boss. Which I feel bad, because it's always like the little humanoid nymph bosses. And then, like, these guys are, like, the cool-looking guys with real cool intros, and they're just not really that much of a challenge. That's fine, didn't even get through my shield. I like how the guys out there will slowly die to fire and whatnot anyway. They're still alive. He's gonna sting a little bit, but I have a decent amount of ammo left, so I probably could have used those earlier. Another issue with the murder rockets is that they consume a lot of ammo. So if I know I'm in a fight for the long haul, it is not ammo efficient to use the murder rockets. Her ethereal vestige. And that's one of our areas finished. Alright, now there's a couple things that we can do. A, there is now a nymph that we need to go beat up. B, that nymph is probably going to kick my butt, so I need to have less money.
戦いは宿命だ。逃れることはできん。貴様が何のために戦おうと、私が口を出すことではない。
一つだけ約束しろ。妖精たちを泣かせるな。なら好きにしろ。留守は私がたっぷり守ってやる。いらっしゃい。
Alright, weapons, 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 weapons. That's just an assault rifle? That's a heavy assault rifle. Yeah, I think the difficulty of... I don't know if I'm just playing in a way that is perhaps a little bit... maybe not as intended, or they didn't design around this particular way. But, the difficulty of the bosses does seem kind of all over the place. I would get the assault rifle, but, like, that's a heavy assault rifle. I don't have the weight capacity to use that thing. Like, I have one of these, so I don't need another one. Let's take a quick look at... Yeah, Rocket Hammer Lady, there has got to be a better way to fight her that I just don't know, because that is the hardest fight that I have had. Okay, so what do we got? Rammed Volk. Okay, so we can get that one. What about you? Okay, so if we had taken a different path with the Vorg quest, we could get this one somewhere else. But for this playthrough, the only way we can get it is here.
なかなかの目の付けどころだ。
Okay, we can get that one somewhere else. This is the only place we can get this one.
貴様にお似合いだ。
And now we have no money.
用は終わりか。ちゃんと帰ってこいよ。
We picked up any... Oh, we have the big bow. I'll move to the big bow. It's like a battle maid. I like this one because you can see the joints. Like, yes, she is in fact a robot. Also, pointy feet. I also enjoy pointy feet. Yeah, there's this one with the samurai armor. Wasn't there? Maybe I haven't bought it. She's doing her best, and we love her for it. Yeah, this one, the, like, very armored version. This one's not bad. It's still kind of like the skirt look, but it's got, like, a smaller tunic on top. Up the volume? Up the game volume? There is very little in the way of game audio. The game audio itself is very quiet. You'll want to compare more to sound effects than music. And granted, I'm not really doing anything right now that's producing a lot of sound effects. Yeah, I'll buy this one. Okay, let's go get into a fight that I'll probably die. While I figure out how in the world I'm going to fight this thing. Because there's a nymph out here now, and this nymph is a pain in the butt. So I'm not actually 100% on where she even is. There she is. I think she's immune to that. That's problems. She's alive! Oh, I gotta get away. Crap! I can't get away. I'm gonna keep moving, Tubi. She will follow you until the ends of the earth. Yeah, so she is in a tank body. She is fast and strong. There's nowhere out here to, like, really hide. Heck yeah! Got her that time! Yeah, that went way better than it has before for me. I've fought her before, and it's just it's taken me. I must have died a half dozen times. I think one major favor that we had was she kind of got stuck. And that let me get a lot of damage in before she started, like, fighting back. Yeah, the missiles must have either missed before or something. Can you leave me alone? I kind of just want to leave, actually. This is not where leaving is. Okay, so that's our rogue nymph for the area. So let's go get our stat up. Yeah, our shield was down due to the area, and honestly, I feel like the area is also part of the fight. Like, dealing with the friggin' zombies, and that the fact that there's no cover and she can just chase you to the ends of the earth. I got kind of lucky, actually, by running away from her, and she actually left me alone. That is not necessarily a common occurrence. Okay, so 5 more points to put in something. Barrier, maybe? Like, a major issue with that fight is how fast she is. Because she can do a lot of damage, and she is as fast as you when not sprinting. Like, if I run out of sprint energy, she will catch up to me. And oftentimes, even when I'm sprinting, I'm only barely keeping away from her. So she will absolutely put you into a position where you go, I have to get away from her. I have to get some cover. And there is none. You can't get away from her, and there is no cover.
戦士は戦いしか知らん。戦場の死だけが私の望みだった。生を押し付けられ戸惑った。今も迷っている。だがなぜだろうな。もう少し迷っていたい気がする。いらっしゃい。
I really love getting, like, the introspective thoughts on her.
よし、これだな。もっと買ってけ。また来るがいい。
And then I think we're getting to the point where she's starting to open up and be a little more playful. So you get the, like, buy more, will ya? Ramp could offer cover. It could. Another issue, of course, with the arena is that it's filled with those zombies. And a bunch of other things. The ramp could be helpful if you cleared out all the enemies around it first, which is a substantial undertaking all on its own. So that's kind of another thing pushing you towards kind of having to deal with her in an environment that is to her benefit. Like, and changing the environment to benefit you more is another substantial undertaking that I guarantee after 1 or 2 attempts you're going to be real tired of doing just to go die. Like, I feel like the arena is half the fight with that nymph specifically. Alright, so at this point we have finished 1 of our 3 full legs, and we did in fact get a piece of Nemia? What's her name? We did get a piece for her for beating the Quadraxis looking guy. We got her visage. Nema. Oh, we've also spent our money. We're reasonably upgraded, and I think we have our new assault rifle, which is pretty good. There are a few other pieces that I may or may not want to swap around, but I don't imagine our loadout is vestige. Maybe it was vestige. It's vestige, probably. There may be some other minor pieces, but I think our loadout right now is going to be pretty much it. So I'm thinking next week we can now that we don't have to do a lot in the way of cleanup, we can probably take care of the remaining 2 areas. Then it's just a matter of final boss and any other miscellaneous cleanup that there is to do. Like if I've missed items here and there. I like to think I've got everything, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, I am sleepy. I'm hungry. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.